Hello, I'm Delusion Dispel. I'm going to talk to you more on this topic of, do the narcissists get anxious? Does the narcissist get anxious? We're also comparing with anxiety disorders, generalized anxiety disorder in specific. So people with generalized anxiety disorder tend to zone out. Extreme worry can sometimes stun them to a point that they will just sit and stare into space or stare at you, and they have kind of a frozen look on their face, like they're stunned. They're so overwhelmed about what could go wrong, about what's about to happen, or what they're about to say, or anything like that, that they'll just freeze. And if you do get their attention and you say, are you okay? What's wrong? They'll say, I don't know what to do. I'm not sure what to say. What do you want me to say? What should I say? I don't know. Now, that's kind of a hard position to be in. It's a hard thing for somebody to ask you, what do you want me to say? And people do it to people quite often. In a very tight situation where two people are kind of at odds, you might hear the other one say, well, what do you want me to say? Okay, that's something that I really can't answer for the person, because two reasons. Number one, I'm not in your head. I'm not feeling what you're feeling. I can't make your choice or take your risk for you. You have to do that yourself. It's not about what I choose for you to say or what I want you to say. If I tell you what to say, if I tell you what to do, if it goes wrong, I'm fully aware that you will turn and blame me because you'll say, well, you told me to do that. So it's a bad position if you're doing that to people and saying, well, what do you want me to say? Don't do that. Because if you think about it, as soon as they tell you what to say or what to do, you're going to turn and blame them if it doesn't work out. You make your own decisions. And if you can't do that, see a therapist so you can learn how. So people with narcissistic personality also have a form of dissociation, like where they zone out. But in the case of a narcissist, it's not like an anxiety situation where they're worried that somebody's, not going to like their decisions or isn't going to like what they said. For a narcissist, zoning out, dissociating, is their way of escaping the conversation. Conveniently forgetting the facts and details of something that they did, especially if it means they're going to have to take responsibility or have any of the blame put on them. If they've cost somebody their job, if they said something dumb that got somebody in trouble or whatever, they don't want to be confronted about it, so they will zone out. They'll just stop talking to you entirely. Or they'll be like, what was that you were talking about? That kind of thing. And they heard you. They're just zoning out because they don't want to deal with it, because they were the ones at fault. And they don't want to hear about their fault. So dissociation in the sense of narcissism is almost another form of blame shifting or diverting the blame. They don't want to accept it, so they're sitting there zoning out, probably thinking about how they can blame you instead, because they're expert blame shifters, and they don't want to be called on the carpet. They don't want to hear about their flaws or their faults or what they need to work on. They are what I call allergic to blame. If the person didn't do this, I wouldn't have had to react that way, is usually the way they will phrase things. I wouldn't have hit you if only you would have known that I wanted cream in my coffee. You should know. I shouldn't have to tell you. I wouldn't have had to scold them, embarrass them, punish them, whatever, if they had just minded me. In the narcissist's mind, there is always some reason why they had to do to you, or whoever the other person is, what they did. It's never, I did this, I'm wrong, I lost my temper, and I hit you, I'm sorry. Never with a narcissist. To a narcissist, they are never the one in the wrong, or if they can't admit they did something, it's always due to the other person's flaws, issues, actions, forgetfulness, or just simply because of who they are. So hopefully that contrasts and compares the anxiety that both disorders can cause. Thanks for watching. Eyes wide open, moving forward. See you next time.